So for today's first episode of my how to makeup basics, clearly you can see I'm super duper close. And why am I close? Because we are going to work on the brows. I'm going to show you everything I know about brows and how I do my brows and how to conceal them, as well as the different products you can do your brows with. Let's go ahead and get started. My brows are not the thickest brows in the world. They are pretty thin if you ask me. So what I personally like to use, because my brows are so fine, I like to use a brow pomade. Brow pomades are the best way to go. It's basically like the little cream, comes in like a little pot. This is the best way to go if you have thinner brows. We also have a pencil. The thing with pencils, I don't really care too much from pencils because, like I said, my brows are pretty thin. So pencils I think are best for people who have more fuller brows, because you can just go in and kind of like fill in the places that you need to fill in, or the little bald spots. Now the way I do my brows, as you can see, I kind of like tried to clean them up as best as I could because we are in quarantine and my brow lady is, you know, there was no services happening right now, so everyone's on their own. And the brush that I like to use a double-ended brush, so it's going to be a spoolie on one side and a little brush like this on the end, and I like it to be as thin as possible. It really helps me get in there. So as you can see, I start with like light strokes, and I like to basically create the bottom shape of my brow, just like that. And I have a little arch in my brow, so I also make sure I emphasize that when I'm drawing it out. So just like that. And then what you do is you take the product and you kind of brush it through the hair. This technique keeps it more natural rather than looking blocky, if that makes sense. So you just keep doing this until you basically created your satisfied shape and however dark you want your eyebrows to be. Keep in mind, we are going to go and clean up around the bottom and the sides with concealer to make it look more sharp and just clean and put together. And when it comes to brows, you're not gonna get it perfect the first time. The more you do it, the better you're gonna get. So as you can see, I kind of have a basic shape down. Now when it comes to filling your brows in, I like to use a concealer that is maybe one shade lighter than my skin tone on the bottom, because I do want it to highlight my brow, but not like intensely like crazy. Because I do have still a little bit of hair, normally I would use just my Maybelline Fit Me in Cafe, but I'm gonna put a little bit of this Covergirl TruBlend concealer in the shade Caramel. It is a little bit of a thicker consistency, so I'm gonna put it just a little bit underneath, and then I'm gonna carve it out with this. So this is gonna really help clean it up and cover any hairs that we are trying to, you know, hide. And then I'm going to take a little blending brush that looks like this, and I'm just going to blend this out. And then just keep practicing. That is the only way that you are going to get better, in my opinion. So as you can see, my brows are nice and cleaned up and they are all done. And that is how I do my brows. Figure out whether you want to use a pomade if you have more thinner brows. If you need to fill in more, I recommend a pomade. Clearly you can see. You saw what we started with. A pomade really is where to go. Now, if you have more fuller brows and you're just trying to fill in some sparse areas, I recommend a brow pencil. Concealing them, as you can see, cleans up a lot and really makes them more sharp and put together. And like I said, practice makes perfect. The more you do this, the better you will get at it, the better you will find your shape. So just keep practicing and trying, and sooner or later you are going to have some bomb ass brows. So yep, I hope you guys enjoyed this how to makeup basics. Let me know what else you would like to see next, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.